You know what? This menu's art style and layout really reminds me of the menus for the level select of some of the Ratchet and Clank games a long time ago. The very highest quality Millennium games that I can remember. Yes, now we have this to deal with. I remember this being very aggravating when I was first doing it. Oh, I know what to do here. So, this is the new plan. Yes, look at that. I have new techniques now that I never had before. And so I can do things like this now. And to verify, yes, that is working correctly. And I can even get rid of these parts here. There. Oh yeah, and this. And increase the feed rate. And so that's this part now finished. And that's all that's required for this module here. Oh, hold on. That's not good. Need to keep the area around the rotator free. And now we just need to figure out how to do this part. This is going to be interesting. I have an idea. First, we need to do this. And it needs to be these as well. There. And from here, the next part should be simple. And I need to make sure this doesn't overflow again. And this part. As for this part, as soon as there is something detected at this point, oh, I can do it from above, or can I? So the plan is, once it gets to here, it needs to, these solar panels need to be pushed onto it. Wait, thinking about that, how would it even be welded together at that point? Perhaps I actually need to move this in order for it to work. And then that way I can have this go here. Oh, I think I have another idea that's horrible. I'm not going to do that idea though. Now at this point, in order to get this welded on, now that would block the path. So I really need to move this to the side by 2 tiles. And now, to verify that it all works. Oh, that's not a good thing to happen. This should work. There. And now we actually need a way of dispensing of this after we're done with it, which we can do by putting these here, like that. Semi-complicated system. No, but there's actually a problem here. Yes. You can see that being not ideal. Maybe we should do dispense of these in favor of more speed. That should help. You see, that's the problem. These need to be staggered. I think I know how to fix that though. I don't like this complicated solution though. Yeah, this needs to go here like this. And yeah, it's a double problem because now I can't put this here, but I still need this to be aligned correctly. Yeah, this is why I hate this level. The panels, how to even put them on correctly. Yeah, put that there just to make sure that doesn't become a problem. Oh, yeah, and that can't be there either. It needs to be here instead. That's there to make sure that doesn't get pushed out of the way prematurely. Actually, if that even gets there before that's done, then that will ruin it. Oh, and I forgot about this. Oh, what if I do this? Yeah, this could be interesting. Oh, I see a way of doing this now. Watch this. This is going to be horrible. There, now it aligns correctly. But these come in too fast now. I think I know a way of doing this better. First, I'm going to need to do the moving up by one immediately after. And then after that is when we're going to be doing the rest of it. Actually, I have a better idea for how this could work. Well, it is faster, but it can be even faster than that still. There. Close enough. Don't need this anymore. And now instead of the old method we can use this new one. Which should help. There. Oh, that's not even supported anymore now. He's coming far too rapidly. I'm going to decrease the feed rate to standard again to fix that temporarily. But it is working now. What about one more instead of two more? No, that also breaks it. It's a very sensitive system. Standard cycle score. Strangely much smaller than average footprint score and block score, even though I wasn't even trying for those. Actually, there's a way to help this immediately. That's by changing this to this. Oh wait, never mind. Although, thinking about it, it probably doesn't make that much of a difference if I do it like this instead of the other way. It's not that much slower. This can be gotten rid of by doing this. Now this is redundant. Are there any other redundant parts in this system? Technically this is. And I have an idea, actually. I bring this back down. And replace this system that I had with this new one. That's much more interesting. Let's see if that works. It does. Somewhat. What exactly is going wrong, though? It's letting more than the requisite through at a time. That's a problem. In that case, I am going to need to use this new method instead and get rid of these. Trying to think of a way to route this better, because I don't like this this arc. However, I don't think there is very much better way to do it than this. Another thing I would like to fix is this awkward positioning. However, I'm not sure there is a way to fix that. Another thing we could do is, this would move at the same speed, but be more efficient in block cost. There. Oh, what's this? Something else is happening now. Oh. I know what's happening here. This. And now it's fixed. A very sensitive alignment. Oh, now it's broken again. Let me try this. And this. Now it should work again. Although this needs to be up by 1 now. And that takes longer now. Which means this needs to be delayed. Not by that much though. This is correct. And this already helped. What else could be done? Very difficult now. This is the hardest part of the optimization. I wonder if this is going to be synchronized enough. No, the panels just don't come in fast enough. How would one fix such a thing? I think I have an idea. Oh, that is pretty fast. Yeah, now try. Oh, that should help. In fact, we don't even need this anymore, I don't think. At least not most of it. Look at that. The brutal efficiency. What else can be done about this? I think there is a way to make this even better. So this time, it will work like this. It's almost insidiously good. And then this can go here like this. And finally... Actually, at this speed, even this would work. It's irritating me how this is so poorly supported. And now all it needs is this to work. Oh, that's strange. Oh, I know what happened. There, they should work better. This takes slightly longer to work now. And so the timing is now off. Replacing this now. But it does appear to be feeding at the right rate. What about maximum speed? No, that's not good. This could be a problem. I think I have an idea for it, though. Not that high. This sub-level here. And we don't need this anymore. And now I can just put these two right here. Yeah, so I guess how this is going to work. Yes, two at a time. So when there's two in this chamber here, it releases the top and then pushes them out of the way again. This now needs to be slowed again because of its new rapidity. It's too fast. Perhaps I'm actually bringing it in from the wrong side. Perhaps it should come in from this side. Ah, that would be a problem though. We could try doing it the way I originally thought, which is terrible, but would work anyway. It just requires a lot of rotating. should be one here at least, and I don't know how far along the next one should be. And I can't know until I actually see for myself. There. That should probably work. Actually, I'm not sure if it would. Yes, I already know it's going to fail. Now the timing is going to be a nightmare. Actually, I'm not sure this is the correct place to split the stream. Those would actually interfere. So actually having a look at this. These need to be moved back. And it would probably be preferable to have these moved back as well. And now we need these here. The welders at this point would need to be can be one above here. There needs to be one from either one of these two sides, which is in line with the path. I hate this level. I'm going to move on to the next one instead. Oh, this one. Yes, I remember this one. So, for building this piece, yeah, I can actually do that up here. Or I could do it further along, which is probably actually preferable. And then I can have these be moved this way and stored for later. These I'd like to first rotate because they're in the wrong orientation. And so is this actually. There. Now that helps. And it needs to be moved up at some point, so that should probably happen pretty soon. Like that. There. And this is in fact the correct level. And then after all of that, it actually needs to be welded together. into a bar of 3 and then moved out. These, there's a special process for stamping them into a specific shape. And it needs to be on this level. And this is too far. It needs to be moved back by 1 in order to work correctly. There, it can be done like this. Oh wait, no, that's not right. It needs to be done like this. Because it's not done filling until it reaches this point. That's also incorrect. What am I trying to do again? I forgot. I think another way to do it is like this. This needs to stay here as a backstop. Becoming quite perplexing. I remember doing this a very specific way originally. I'm just standing here now thinking. The problem now is that this stays in the way. What about this? Oh, that works now. This is the wrong level. And move that down by 1, and then move this in here to be attached. Delayed by 1. Just like that. And that can be done with these welders. And finally we need to find a way to get these in somewhere. The problem then becomes, how do we attach these? What if they're dropped in from above? The welding is going to be difficult in this case. I do know of another way to do it, but it's not great. Actually, the way this is practically easier to assemble it than rotate it into the correct form. Which means I need to remove this also, and this. So now, this can be placed somewhere out of the way first. I think this would actually work. Perhaps. If I move all of this down by one. See how this works. Oh, it does work. That is interesting. A new form of stamping available now. But that actually... Oh, that is on the correct level now. So that doesn't even need modification. I'd like to split this into two streams now. Oh, and this is the wrong orientation. There. And as it exits, here's a mechanism for splitting the stream in half. Exactly in half, actually. This part needs to go back by 2 units. There. And then these can be routed to wherever they need to go, which should probably be here. And all of this can move up by 1. Except for this part. No, this is incorrect actually, which means moving this up by 1 was incorrect also. Because the welders should be routed in from above here. Like this. And while all of that is happening, this can be moved to a point upstream, such as here. or it can be attached by itself to the rest of it by these welders. After the rest of these things have happened. And this should be put here, so that once it's done, it's moved back out. Or possibly here instead. Yeah, this should be correct timing. That's a problem. This part isn't the part that should be there, it should be here. Because this is the last part to come in, it should be the part that ends the process at that point. And this can be put back in because now it's ready. And finally, it can be rotated. About this point, and then sent in. Oh, that's a problem though. This is going to require very good timing in order to work at all. Or, instead of that, I could do this. So that way it doesn't even need timing. Yes. And then... in that case, this is going to need to be moved back by one. And this to here. There, that should work. Yes, it does. Yeah, this works much better than the one method I used before. And I think with minor alterations to the timing, this can work at much higher speeds. Let's actually see about that now. Checking each part individually first before continuing. This part doesn't work at all now. It doesn't have enough time to do what it's supposed to. In that case, lowering the speed by 1 unit. This part is now the only part that needs to be altered. Oh, hold on. That's not correct. Well, in this case... this is now the problematic part that needs to be solved somehow. So the problem I'm seeing is this is what initializes moving out and is being triggered too soon. So what if instead of that the moving out is initialized by... Wait, I have a new idea. What if there is something containing it until it is prepared to leave? And what detects if it's ready to leave is this thing. This finally functions correctly now. Yes. This does not function correctly, as I suspected it would not. So taking a closer look, this now arrives before that does, and so this is no longer a correct system setup. I can revert that back to the way it was before when it didn't work in the last build. But that's a problem. The new problem becomes this is in the wrong spot. It now needs to be this way around. Because of what order things are going in at. I'm noticing a new problem. It can't fit through there. So this is actually unworkable in its current form. We need to delay this by 1 cycle. There. The easy problem solution. And now this part is moving much slower than it used to be. I have a solution though. We can front load this processing and have the moving up be done after that point. Here. There. And I can get rid of this now. The splitter is going to be another part I'm going to need to find a way to change. In fact, it should be altered slightly. No, I do have another idea. Just move this back like this. Now this isn't coming in fast enough. And these are coming in much too fast. So, need to switch those around again. These feed rates are troublesome. So in the second one, these don't come in fast enough, and in the third one, they come in even slower. And so, what's really happening is these two are out of phase. Not only out of phase, but at different frequencies. And so, I need to synchronize one to the other with some kind of mechanism. And the best way I can think to do that is with something here that detects if something here that detects if it's ready to bring in the next one, depending on if it's loaded yet. And so, yes, this looks correct. Oh, that's a problem. I don't want them falling out. Oh, what's happening now? Oh. It's unavoidable. There, that should help. Oh, that's bad. This entire assembly is becoming a very large problem. There. Moving this to the side. That should help with this. Oh, I know. This is a minor problem. I could probably fix it by delaying those. Oh wait. I know what the problem is. These needed to be spaced better. There. The first few were correct. You see, now these are asynchronous, which is another problem now. At high speeds, synchronization becomes the biggest problem. Now, if I have these only be dispensed when they're required, that should help. Like this, it will detect if it's ready to receive and then send immediately. And at no other point should it send. What's the problem now? Oh, this here. There. This looks more correct. Yes, this is much better. Even though it's a mess. Now for the final level of this chapter. Oh, look at this. Look at all the complex geometry we're going to need to solve somehow. Fortunately, I do know of many ways to stamp these modules and then put them together, especially this strange one here. And all of them are going to need to be raised at some point. And so, if at some point, then why not immediately? Actually, no. It should happen after the stamping. Yes, perfect. Actually, no, very imperfect. Oh, I know what the problem is. Because of how this works, it would be best to raise them like I originally said. To at least this level first. Actually, why not higher? There. Increasing the feed rate. There. Actually, don't need those immediately. Or do we? Technically we do, because... And so now we have these 3 streams. And we need to block these now. Or we can have those be sent separately to different conveyors. To be lifted. And so now the overflow will just be sent through a different channel. There. And have them trigger independently. And increase the bandwidth here. And so now it should look like this. Mass transit. This part should be simple to do, even though it's the hardest one, technically. It's not that hard, or at least it shouldn't be. There, that should work. But it doesn't, and I'm pretty sure I know why. Simple solution. Use the same mechanism we used earlier. This looks correct. There. Forgot that part is why. Technically, I could just have this sent back to the beginning. Oh, that's a problem though. It doesn't give it enough time to leave. I think I have an idea, but it may not be a good idea. No, I shouldn't even try it. Have the welders push the finished product out of the way. Sounds like it could be a disaster. I'll follow this for a moment. Yes, the problem yet again becomes it's out of order. How about this orientation instead? That's even worse. Come back to that later. Other parts we have available are this one. Which can be easily rectified with this mechanism here. But it feeds too fast. I was afraid that might happen. In that case, I have a new idea. Like this, perhaps. I just noticed what time it is. I should stop now.